Dan Illman, Mike Beer creeping closer to the Midsummer Derby, the Travers with race number 11. Here's the field for the Grade 1 Sword Dancer. Some older turf horses going a mile and a half on the inner. A little bit of everything in this race, Mike. You've got the speed of Tribhuvan. You've got the European import, the multiple Group 1 stakes winner, Japan. You've got the Saratoga Lover Cross Border. You've got the defending Sword Dancer winner, Channel Maker. And you have Gufo, who might be the most up-and-coming horse in the race.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. A morning line favorite at 2-1, who is in really good form, Dan, but I didn't think necessarily Tribhuvan held a huge edge on this field. I don't know. I thought there was a lot going on in here, and maybe the kind of race where if Tribhuvan does indeed get bet like the morning line suggests, you want to look for somebody else.
Here's the Timeform US pace projector. Tribhuvan in his last 3 races has decided to undergo run and gun tactics. He's going to make the lead in here over Moretti, given an alert break. Tribhuvan went very fast in the Manhattan and was run down by a very good horse, his stablemate Domestic Spending. Last time out, he opened up a big lead, but he wasn't going very fast. Where was everybody else?
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on in the UN. Not that it was a particularly strong field, but for this horse to have the kind of open lengths lead that he did up the backstretch on that kind of a pace, you have to sort of wonder what everybody else was thinking in there. It was a nice Grade 1 win for him, but it was a Grade 1 win, just having all the best of it, which, maybe the pace projector, Dan, knows something that I don't know, but am I really supposed to believe that Channel Maker is not speed in this race?
Channel Maker should benefit from his most recent start and get right up close to the pace. I mean, Moretti does have some speed, but it's kind of a 1 3/4 dirt speed, and we don't know if it'll transfer to turf. Here's Tribhuvan winning the UN over a couple of next out winners, and again, he just went right to the front, dropped down a 1:15-2. They weren't going to catch him when this happened, and he sprinted right on home, but he's won 3 out of his last 4. He's earned triple-digit buyers in his last 3, and his Timeform seems to indicate he should be able to make the lead. Whether Channel Maker goes or not, I think Channel Maker will at least attempt to be close. The number 2, Gufo, who won the Belmont Derby as a 3-year-old and has always been known as sort of a late kicker, added blinkers last time out in the Grand Couturier Stakes. And let's give the blinkers some credit. Yes, he was still last entering the final turn, but as they turn into the stretch, he's right on top of these horses, which is usually not where Gufo is turning for home. As a matter of fact, he's in the lead at the 3/16, and he keeps on rolling to win by a length. Now, this is a vastly inferior field. Shamrock at the 3rd place horse would come back to finish 3rd in the Bowling Green behind Cross Border with a 98 buyer, but this horse kicks and he wants every bit of a 1.5 miles.
Yeah, that was his first start right there at 1.5 miles, and he showed that he can get it. It wasn't, his finish there wasn't as explosive as it had been going the shorter distances, but as you've already pointed out, Dan, he was already on top of the pace at the top of the stretch. So maybe that mitigated the kick just a little bit. He's a Grade 1 winner as a 3-year-old. I still think he has something to prove at this level as an older horse, but he certainly feels like he's a player in here. We'll see what kind of trip he gets.
Chad Brown has Tribhuvan on the lead. He has Rock Emperor coming from off of the pace. Rock Emperor is a horse that has run some solid races against solid company. He just rarely seems to get over the top. He did win going 1.25 miles against a weak 2X 2-back. And last time out, while Cross Border rode the inside pocket, he had to go outside, and he ran okay to finish 2nd. I guess 1.5 miles could be good for him. I'm still trying to figure out what his best distance is.
Yeah, I don't know either. We'll see what he does. He's certainly run plenty of fast races in his past. I mean, just going off figures, he's a player in here. I've kind of seen enough of him. I thought he ran fine in the Bowling Green last time. Only 2nd best, in my opinion, that day. It was an okay performance if he runs that race back. I just don't think he wins again.
Channel Maker dominated this race last year on the lead, and then he ran a big race in the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic to win, and then he ran a big race to be 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Turf, and then he ran quite fine when he ran in Saudi Arabia to kick off his 2021 campaign. Now, he was in way too tough in the Shima Classic 2-back. The Bowling Green, his return off the layoff, Mike, I think is a sneaky effort because he pushed a pretty solid pace, and then he tired late, but I think he gained a lot of fitness from that effort.
Yeah, I think that's how, if you're like him, I think that's how you have to look at it. The pace was fast that day. Channel Cat made the lead. This horse went after him. Just sort of kept pressing on all the way around to coming to the stretch anyway. This horse totally gave way in there. He got very tired at the end. It just felt like he really needed it. And we all obviously know that he's better than that, Dan. The question is he just absolutely at his best when he can be the one making the front and controlling the pace? Is he going to be able to get that trip in here with Tribhuvan in the race? It feels like he's not. But it does sort of feel like these two horses might just sort of do what Channel Maker and Channel Cat did last time in the Bowling Green, and that is go fast early.
Longest shot on the board's trying turf for the first time. That's Todd Pletcher's Moretti. I like Moretti as a horse. He's a true stayer. He really wants 1.5 miles, 1.75 miles. He's run some good races on the dirt. It's a complete unknown as to whether he's going to handle the turf. While he has a classy pedigree, Mike, there's not a lot of grass in there.
Yeah, that was my problem. I didn't see enough turf to get me interested. The distance is obviously no problem for him. I know that Todd worked him on the turf last week. The more I looked at this race, the more I just felt like he entered him just in case it comes off, and then he'll let him run. I didn't think he was necessarily going to run in here. If he does, I thought he was kind of hard to make a case for.
He's hard to kind of make a case for unless you're really kind of sick and tired of the horses that have run in this race, or at least you can poke holes in them at prices. Moretti, I watched that turf drill in company with NYC, who's an okay Pletcher horse, certainly not at the level of this. And it's not like Moretti seemed to really relish the turf. He kept up with that horse, but I like him as a horse, and I think he could work out a decent trip if he runs. You might be right. I personally think Todd's here because where else are you going to run him 1.5 miles? Japan is the number 6, and Japan was a multiple Group 1 stakes winner in 2019, and he's kind of settled now as a Group 2, Group 3 horse. He won a Group 3 last time out for Aidan O'Brien. He's shedding 20 pounds for this race.
Yeah, we'll see what he does. I mean, if nothing else, he's sort of an intriguing new face to this group. He was a really good 3-year-old. Sort of struggled through an 0 for 5 campaign last year, but I mean, they were all major races against really good horses. It just felt like he didn't improve for whatever reason. He's won a couple of modest races this year, Dan. I thought he ran really well last time to sort of deny a late challenge under 140 pounds. I think he can win here. I wonder what kind of price you're going to be able to get on him.
Cross border, leading rider Louis Saez, Michael Maker coming off the victory in the prep, the grade 2 Bowling Green. Let's watch Cross Border's victory. He got a very nice trip in this race. He was able to save ground in behind the leader Channel Cat. He's going to get to the outside. It was a fast pace. I will say that. It was a fast pace that Channel Cat was chasing. Cross Border was able to stay close, and he just really powers on by. He loves Saratoga, Mike.
He really does. I like this performance from him. Yes, overall the trip was good, but as you've mentioned, the pace was solid in here, and he was close to it every step of the way. Had no problems taking over and seeing out the trip. I know he's never wanted 1.5 miles. I feel like that's not going to be an issue for him. And he just kind of feels like he might fall into the same kind of trip that he got last time. And if he ever is going to become a grade 1 winner, isn't it going to come at Saratoga?
I think it's going to come at Saratoga, and it might come at the expense of this field. As we take a look at our top picks, you made the case for Cross Border. His versatility from a running style standpoint, he can sit up close as he did last time out. If they go fast, as they might in this race, I can see him sitting 4th or 5th, 6 lengths off the lead and come with a strong kick. He's 4-1 on the morning line, but it's going to be really interesting to see how they bet this race. I think that's about right. I think the fans still don't believe that he's a grade 1 horse, and I think he's a playable price. I really don't have a strong opinion in this race. I've always liked Moretti as a horse. I think he falls into a pocket trip here behind the 2 speeds, and maybe he comes running. I'm just not thrilled with some of these horses. I do think Tribhuvan in the form he's in right now is the horse to beat. I'm just not sure I would want him at 2-1. 7-6-2-1 for Mike, 5-1-7-3 for me. It's the grade 1 sword dancer. We're creeping closer to the Travers.